Hi, you're right. So today we're going to be looking at Islamic prayer, different types of Islamic prayer and ways that Islamic people pray. So to start with, before we move into that, what you'll need the Islamic prayer worksheet off PM Online. There's a few questions on there that you'll need to answer as you go along. So probably best idea is just to pause at the appropriate stages. And then there's an activity at the end, a post or image activity to complete and upload to the Dropbox. So make sure you get that done. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is 5 pillars of Islam, which are essentially the key elements of Islamic prayer. Starts off with the Shahada, which is a statement of faith that there is no God but God and Muhammad is his prophet. Then there's the Salat, which is praying 5 times per day. So that's at dawn, noon, mid-afternoon, sunset and evening. The preference for Islamic people is to pray with others. And also they face Mecca, which is the Islamic holy city. I'll have a photo of that coming up shortly. Then there's the zakat, which is giving a proportion of one's income each year to help the community, so sick, aged and poor. It varies, but it's usually somewhere around 2.5% of your income. The Sawm, which is fasting from sunrise to sunset during Ramadan. And also we've got the Hajj, which is completing a pilgrimage to Mecca, which is done once in a lifetime, remembering that Mecca is a very holy city in Islam, so it's very important for Islamic people to complete that pilgrimage. Okay, so there's the image of Mecca with, as you can see, what is probably hundreds of thousands of people that have gone there on a pilgrimage. Okay, so the aims of Salat, which is obviously prayer. There's a number of different aims, so we'll move through these reasonably quickly, but you might want to pause at the appropriate stages to help you answer those questions. So it's to bring people closer to Allah, combine soul and body in divine worship, keep them from shameful and indecent activities, calm a person down, bring a sense of peace and tranquility, promote patience, courage, hope and confidence, develop gratitude and humility, demonstrate obedience, to train in cleanliness, purity and punctuality, constantly remind people of God's greatness, and to develop discipline and power. So overall, I think the key thing there is to maybe think about or compare how some of those aims compare to other religions, whether it's Christianity or other religions that we're looking at as far as ways people pray, and look at the similarities and any sort of differences that may be there as well. Okay, so Salat, we mentioned that it's obviously people praying 5 times a day, and that each time has a special name, performed at a special time of the day. So the first one, which was at dawn, it's called Salat ul-Fajr. Then we've got the second one there, Salat Uzar, which is basically around noon. That mid-afternoon is the next one. And then between sunset and last light of day. And finally, Salat ul-Isha, which is between darkness and dawn. Okay, so that's 5 times. And pretty strict Muslims will certainly stick to that. Okay, so just looking at the role of women in Islam and the role of women in Salat, so women in prayer. Women in Islam will pray separately to men. So in the mosque, there will be separate areas for women and men to pray. They also pray separately at home. I guess the main reason for that is that it is designed to ensure that the men are not distracted by the presence of the women. Okay, so Friday prayers is very, very important for Islamic people. Salat ul-Jama'ah, which is called the communal prayer. So it's done on Fridays, at midday in the mosque. So if you've seen mosque, if you live close by and on a Friday, you may well have seen a big congregation at that sort of time, and that's why. Adult men are expected to leave work and attend. Obviously, in Islamic countries, shops and businesses close for the hour around midday to allow this to occur, but in countries such as Australia, where that's not the case, it obviously puts quite a bit of pressure on Islamic people to complete that, and for a lot of Islamic people, it wouldn't be, I guess, practical or able to be done. Okay, so got a few prayer festivals that we'll just have a look at. Eid al-Fitr, the festival for the first day after Ramadan, marks the breaking of the fast, lasts for 3 days, and involves community celebration and prayer. Then you've got Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice, which occurs 70 days after Eid al-Fitr. It remembers the time when Abraham was going to sacrifice his son to prove obedience to God. It marks the end of the Hajj, which is the annual pilgrimage to Mecca that we spoke about earlier. So these are pretty important. The poster or image activity that you're going to be doing is based on one of these sort of festivals. So keep that in mind, and you'll need to choose one of those for the activity that you'll need to complete. And finally, we'll just finish with Allah al-Akbar, which is God is great, which is obviously an important statement, I guess, for Islamic people to say. So thanks, guys. We need to make sure we get those questions done. There's only a couple of questions on the worksheet, but there is that activity based on the festivals as well. So let's make sure we get that done and in the Dropbox. Thank you.